I think this will probably be my most controversial video yet, but either way, this has to be said. Bethesda does deserve some credit here, alright? But only for somehow tricking people into liking Hancock. If you told me there was a character who was even dumber than Preston, I wouldn't have believed you. Yet the more I looked into Hancock as a subject for the video, the more I realized this guy is just a mess of stupid decisions and hypocrisy. I actually originally planned on this video to be something like 5 reasons Hancock is a genius, but I can't do that anymore. I know. I speak blasphemy, I get it. He's your favorite character, and he can still be your favorite character, even though he's not very smart. So, without further ado, here's 8 reasons John Hancock is an idiot. Reason number 1. He's a hypocrite.
I think the worst part of the Cosby thing was the hypocrisy.
Hancock's whole reason for going with you is because he doesn't want to let his power go to his head.
I gotta take a walk, get back in touch with my fellow lowlifes. That's why I've decided I'm coming with you. Hitting my strong room proves you've got that devil-take-me attitude I need to reconnect with.
He loves to keep saying that he needs to get away from his job and stay in touch with his roots, but this doesn't even make a little bit of sense. This is like working to become the football captain, but crawling everywhere on all 4s the rest of the time to remember the days before you were good at football.
That doesn't make sense.
It's either stupid or it's a downright lie. Hancock is really trying to say that he formed a gang, killed the previous mayor, took over the town, uses his new gang to keep others from muscling in on his business so he's the only one building any wealth, hoards that wealth away from the town, kills or rewards other townsfolk based on whether or not they step out of line, and then has the audacity to turn around and say, "I'm just one of you guys, really."
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
He is simultaneously saying that he does not like power while using a standing army to make sure that he stays the only powerful person around. Can you make that make sense? Because I can't. Reason number 2. He likes chems. He's a chem dealer.
Drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. If you do them, you're bad.
So look, I feel like people lose sight of this because Fallout is a video game about the end of the world, but just think about it for a minute. Imagine if you had to pick one friend that you needed to rely on to literally protect you and have your back in every situation. If you had your choice between 2 clones, but one clone did hardcore drugs all the time and encouraged you to do hardcore drugs and gave free drugs away to other people in your presence, and the other clone just didn't do any of that, which one would you choose?
Come on, Charlie. Let's just do one quest. I always wanted to, but I was never allowed.
No, Pip. Perhaps one day.
Oh, I love you, Daddy.
I can't believe after all these years, I'm finally here.
You kissed your dad on the mouth?
What's going on here? Charlie knows how much I love the Enchanted Forest. Is he doing this on purpose?
I get it. Doing chems is in Hancock's character. It's his whole thing. And that's actually my point here. It's stupid to choose to be a drug addict, and being proud that you chose to be a drug addict just makes you proud to be stupid. I get it. He has a shady past. But he's not trying to get clean. He's trying to do more chems. Reason number 3. He rules his city like a disinterested stepfather. When Hancock isn't your companion, he supposedly acts as the mayor of Goodneighbor. Problem is, he's probably the worst leader in the game. According to him, he took out the previous mayor because he acted as a kind of warlord, and it's good to take out warlords, right? No arguments there.
Some ass named Vic ran the town for I don't know how long before that. Guy was scum. Used us drifters like his own personal piggy bank. He had this goon squad he'd use to keep people in line.
But how does Hancock compare to the leaders we find in-game? Let's take a tally of some of the cities you can find. Vault 81 is safe and clean. Diamond City is safe, but doesn't allow ghouls, so you got a little racism there. Bunker Hill is safe and clean. Covenant is safe and clean, unless you failed their tests. We got, I guess, racism again against synths. The Slog is safe, and they have their own economy going on. But what do you think of when you think of a Goodneighbor? You think of slums, maybe? You think of gangs being in your face? Goodneighbor is canonically ruled by mobs and gangs. It's like if Tony Soprano built an entire town.
Woke up this morning, got some gabagoo. And then I woke up the next day and got some
If Hancock is gonna call himself the mayor, he probably needs to take a slightly more active role than giving out occasional speeches and handing out drugs to people he likes.
That's right. Who said that? Coming up to my office later. You've earned yourself some jet.
Reason number 4. He believes in might makes right. Part of Hancock's story comes out when he tells us that the previous mayor was just a warlord who used people of Goodneighbor to fund his own schemes and roughed him up a little bit. Setting aside the fact that Hancock basically does the same thing, I also think it's important to talk about just how Hancock did this. Basically, Hancock says,
We got it bad. There was one night, some drifter said something to them. They cracked him open like a can of cram on the pavement. And we all just stood there, did nothing. I felt like less than nothing. Afterwards, I got so high, I blacked out completely. After that, I went clean for a bit, got organized. Convinced Cleo to loan me some hardware. Got a crew of drifters together and headed out into the ruins. Started training. Next time Vic's boys went on their tear, we'd be ready for them. So, the night of, we all got loaded. Let Vic's boys get good and hammered. And burst from the windows and rooftops where we'd been hiding. They never even saw it coming.
So Hancock's answer to things he doesn't like as a system of government is just to round up some of your friends and then kill the guy. I feel like most people understand why this is bad, but for the sake of being thorough, it's stupid to set up a society around the idea of might makes right, because you will eventually be killed, and you can't be sure that the next guy will be any better. How long can you stay on top before you catch a cold while one of your rivals is in town? How long can you possibly go without showing any weaknesses at all? Hancock loves to say his
Of the people, for the people.
nonsense, but that's not what's happening, is it? Hancock wasn't elected. He's not here by popular demand. Hancock is the leader because he was strong enough to kill a guy, and his only hope is that no one stronger than him shows up.
There's always a bigger fish.
The cracks are already showing with his rivals testing his weaknesses right in front of the player.
You all just broke into Hancock's storeroom.
Listen, guys, I know this isn't what you expected, but there are still a ton of caps on the line here. Help me take her out, and all of it is ours.
Reason number 5. He built a city full of terrible people, encouraged more terrible people to show up, and then he wonders why those people betray him. Hancock canonically rose to power by simply murdering the last guy. Then he surrounds himself with killers, drug dealers, gangs, vagrants.
The gang's all here.
And then he gets pissy when Bobby makes her move. He even says this himself after it's all over.
I spend all my time putting down the people I would have been proud to scheme with just a few years ago. I need to take a walk again, get a grip on what really matters. Living free.
But recognizing and calling out your own hypocrisy doesn't change the hypocrisy, right? Like if somebody beat you up and took your money, but then said, hey man, I'm really sorry about all that. You wouldn't just forgive them, right? You'd still want your money back. Hancock is that guy. He pulled the ladder up behind him.
I was reaching for a supply box on the top shelf when one office worker kicked the ladder out from under me and yelled,
Hey Daryl, how's it hanging?
He got his fame, money, power by illicit means, then he shits on anyone who tries to do the same. He's canonically a boomer. Reason number 6. He simultaneously pretends to rule with an iron fist, but literally rewards people for stealing from him. When Hancock isn't pulling the ladder up behind him, he's making sure people have plenty of incentives to steal from him and work against him.
That'll be like taking candy from a baby. Who's done this to me? Who's taken candy from a baby?
If you decide to roll with Bobby No-Nos and steal from Hancock, you end up having to kill his bodyguard. After it's all over, he tells you to retaliate by going and killing Bobby and paying him 1,000 caps restitution. You can just not do this.
How about no?
If you refuse to kill Bobby, then refuse to pay him back, he says,
What? You thought I was serious? Far be it from me to keep harder caps out of the people's hands.
This is possibly Hancock's single dumbest moment. You're telling me this guy is a drug dealer, kingpin, ruler of a city who sits on top of his personal army of gang members, profiting off of his own gangs, and making sure no one else builds a gang, and then he just lets you steal from him? Pick a lane, man, seriously. Reason number 7. He actually just enjoys killing. I try really hard to keep these things strictly about being dumb or smart. You can be smart and evil after all, but too bad Hancock isn't. It seems like Hancock chooses to kill people just for the sake of it.
No!
Take the guy that tries to shake you down the first time you enter Goodneighbor, Finn. I mean, this actually has a direct comparison in the Fallout universe. Remember in Fallout New Vegas, when the king, the ruler of Freeside, suspects a guard named Oris of shaking down his customers? He has you go and investigate, then says he'll handle it internally. If you kill Oris, the king actually gets mad.
Ah, so it went down like that, huh? I guess it can't be helped now.
Why? Because literally murdering someone for having a racket in your town that's full of rackets isn't just morally wrong, it's actually stupid. Leaders like this usually get capped themselves. Hancock's days are numbered if he keeps doing stupid things like this, and he should know that. When he decided to form a gang and take over Goodneighbor, he specifically says he killed them just for the love of the game.
They never even saw it coming. We didn't have to fire a shot. We didn't have to, but we sure fucking did.
I did it because I liked it. And I loved it.
How long before somebody else has the same idea? And reason number 8. He literally created a place that excludes people that need to be saved. The most important reason that Hancock is an idiot is because he fails to do the thing that is supposedly most important to him. According to Hancock, there are a few events that turned John McDonough into John Hancock. First, when his brother became mayor of Diamond City and kicked all the ghouls out.
And he decides he's gonna try and get elected with his anti-ghoul crusade. I remember storming into his office above the stands after the inauguration speech. He was just standing there, staring out the window, watching as the city turned on the ghouls. He didn't even look at me. Just said, "I did it, John. It's finally mine."
And second, when he failed to protect the people of Goodneighbor.
There was one night, some drifter said something to them. They cracked him open like a can of cram on the pavement. And we all just stood there, did nothing.
Was there no one who could have helped?
Who knows? Maybe. Honestly, we were all so terrified we couldn't bring ourselves to move until it was over, let alone get help. I felt like less than nothing. Afterwards, I got so high, I blacked out completely.
Because of his inability to help others, he says he donned the colonial cloak and became John Hancock to kill assholes and protect the weak. Just one problem, he doesn't do that. He specifically says that the ghouls who were forced out of Diamond City probably died because they didn't want to live in a slum like Goodneighbor.
I still wasn't a ghoul at this point, so I didn't have to leave, but I couldn't bring myself to stay in that cesspool after that. I'd been sneaking off to Goodneighbor for years to get decent chems, so I knew the safe routes. I managed to track down a couple of the families, lead them there, but most couldn't get used to the Goodneighbor lifestyle. I brought them food for a couple of weeks, but after a while, they just disappeared.
So, Hancock went ahead and took over Goodneighbor and kept it a slum that no one wants to live in. In other words, the people not allowed to live in Diamond City, but too soft to want to live in Goodneighbor, are still either wandering or they're dead, because Hancock decided to make it a gang-infested hellhole after it was already a gang-infested hellhole, but this time with Hancock being the one who gets rich. And that's 8 reasons why John Hancock is an idiot. I hope you like it. I think the reasons are pretty good. I did a pretty good job of researching everything, and I had to play Fallout 4 for like 20 hours to get all the footage. So, I hope you liked it. If you didn't, be sure to argue with me about it in the comments. Anyways, here are some of the videos that I made on other characters from Fallout 4, and I make a Fallout video every week, so make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching.